Stop watching mainstream TV. It is the worst programming there is. It's programming you. I know everybody knows that by now, but yet a lot of us are still watching these things that serve no purpose, that do not help us grow in any way. Instead, they continually feed your subconscious mind stereotypes and fear.
The most effective way to protect yourself from subconscious manipulation is by being aware of how it works. What the conscious mind believes, the subconscious acts on. It works like programming a computer. Information is fed into a computer, and the computer acts on it. However, if the information fed into the computer is wrong, it still acts on it. If a person believes something that is not true, the memory banks of the subconscious mind do not correct the error, but act on it.
That is what's going on. The whole stereotypes about the Muslims, stereotypes about gay people, stereotypes about anybody with any melanin in their skin, stereotypes with people without melanin in their skin. It's getting ridiculous. It's been ridiculous. You know, a lot of people are so fearful from watching the news 2-3 times a day that it is literally engaging them in fear. I've seen this with my own grandparents. They started to watch the news every day, 2-3 times a day. Before you know it, they had bars on their windows and on their doors, you know, and they started to treat people differently. They didn't interact with people the same because they was afraid to communicate with people because what was shown on the news, whatever, it's a half an hour show, if it's an hour show, it's 58 minutes of doom and gloom. Everybody's shooting each other, everybody's robbing each other, get ready for the next catastrophe, and then they're gonna force feed you something that is to scare you to death.
Where are all these news stations getting their scripts from? Well, there are affiliate news services that supply packages and scripts to hundreds of stations around the country. Stations then have their anchors read the canned story with the generic script. The bottom line is that people who watch the news tend to trust this information that then influences their perception and decisions. So for these anchors to ask no questions, do no fact-checking, and hold no differing interpretation of the news they're delivering is not only absurd, it's downright dangerous.
Meanwhile, when you do your own research, you start looking at other things, you'll find out that there's so many positive, good things that's happening. There's so many inventions that are changing our lives that could be told, but then that would produce some kind of cohesion between people, some kind of interaction, some kind of communication. I had one guy walk up to me one day and said, "You know the biggest problem between men?" I said, "What is it?" He said, "We don't talk to each other." Something as simple as communicating with each other can change everything. Because there's information we each know that we could share that can revolutionize the way we think. So the point of not watching the news is to get out of the fear bubble, to stop the programming from going on from some outside source and condition and program yourself. That is the main thing we have to do. Because if you ever look at any kind of research, any studies, you know the subconscious mind is what is creating your reality. It is creating your actions, not the conscious mind. So if you're sitting there watching different movies, different reality TV shows that's about nonsense, fighting, yelling, screaming, that is what is being conditioned in your mind. If every time you turn on the news, you see a person that looks a certain way, that's committing a crime, then you're going to see that person in the street and you're going to have a level of fear with that person. It is automatic. The scientist has figured that out 40 years ago, if not longer. And that's why you know there is an agenda. The agenda to make you fearful, the agenda to stop us from communicating. Because the government knows this already. They have all these secret programs, and it's mainstream at this point, the power of your subconscious mind and how it dictates your life. So stop watching the mainstream TV and news. Select the programming you want to see and watch that. Hopefully you can get some good programs without commercials. That'd be even better.
Do you ever get the feeling that the news anchors on television are just mindless media parrots repeating the same talking points over and over again?
In consumer news, economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year.
Economic factors may take some spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year. Economic factors may take some of the spring out of the Easter Bunny step this year. Economic factors may take the spring out of the step of the Easter Bunny this year.